So good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's enjoying the session so far. So like Anisha said, my name's Thanh Khong. I'm the lead sales engineer for the ANZ region for Cato Networks. So today I wanted to present a topic, how to deliver a turnkey security service with Cato SASE. But I think before we do that, let me just move the slides. So before we look at how Cato Networks can help your organization deliver that turnkey service, I promised at the start, I wanted to give you a snapshot of the current security landscape. So everyone is at risk of cyber attack, okay? So it doesn't matter your industry size, your vertical, you are at risk of a cyber attack. So really it's not a question of if you'll be attacked, but rather when, and will you be ready for it? Dwell time. Dwell time is interesting, right? So dwell time is the amount of time that malware is inside your company. And according to the IBM report, it's over 6 months. So 287 days to be exact for an organization to identify and contain a breach. Very scary statistic, actually. Now, according to the Ponemon Institute, the 2021 average total cost of a data breach is $4.24 million USD, with over $1 million of that figure coming from remote working. And as we all know, since the pandemic, that is the norm these days for 80 to 90% of the staff working remotely. We're also seeing a significant increase in cloud-based data breaches as more organizations transition to cloud. So with over 40% of organizations reporting such breaches. So this has led to Gartner issuing a statement to basically say the enterprise must assume that it is already compromised and that it's no longer enough to have prevention in your network, but detection is a must-have capability in your security portfolio. Okay, so I've talked about the threats. What does it actually cost to implement and maintain security? What does it actually cost to keep your organization out of the news headlines for all of the wrong reasons? Well, let's start by building a SOC. How much does it cost to build a SOC? Well, let's think about it, right? So you need to hire security experts, which on average, according to, and my stats are from Arctic Wolf, an average of 90,000 USD per head. So that translates to about roughly 125K AUD per head. If you want a fully staffed 24/7 operation, you would need close to $1 million per year. Okay, if you factor in the cost of software, hardware, training, you're now looking at anywhere in the vicinity of $2 million to $7 million USD annually for that capability. Okay, so what if you want to outsource the SOC instead? Well, you're still looking at an average of $5.3 million per year, according to security magazines. This is what the average MSSPs are charging. And those costs are rising due to complexities in networks and the ever-evolving security threat landscape. On top of that, customers are not happy with the way these services and the ability to combat growing cyber threats, right? So really, it's a bit of a money pit if you think about it, right? Then there's your operating costs like patching, okay? What's interesting around this, the statistic that I'm showing on screen is 50% of security engineers' time is spent on patching. So that's 50% of your very expensive security expert engineer spending half their time patching the network. And this really comes as no surprise if you think about it, given the multiple breaches that have taken place and made headlines across the world over the last few years, like Log4j, SolarWinds, Kaseya, Colonial Pipeline, just to name a few. Okay, so compliance. This is a bit of a tricky one to quantify, but obviously it'll vary depending on the industry that you belong to. But just to give you an example, right? So to get ISO 27001 certification, you're looking at 48,000 USD per year for a small 75-person organization. What does this tell us? It tells us that to implement and maintain security is very, very expensive. But on top of that, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a major commitment from the business. And in fact, the whole process from end to end could take years to complete. So something's wrong here, right? All the stats that I've presented to you, the threat landscape, and as we like to say inside Cato, complexity is the enemy of security. Okay, a highly fragmented security market of vendors are trying to solve point problems with point solutions. And over the last 15 to 20 years, which I've been in the industry, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well, you would have seen that, right? The complexity grow because of all the point solutions that have been delivered. And of course, the escalating resource, training, hardware, and software costs. So the next question is, how can Cato help? How can we remove the complexity that has been introduced over the years by all the point solutions that have been deployed and that I've talked about? Well, according to Gartner, they say the solution is convergence, specifically the convergence of SD-WAN and network security into a single solution, which they've coined the Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE. So SASE, for those who are not familiar with the acronym or the term, it's a new architecture that is built to address today's and tomorrow's requirements for optimal and secure application access. And SASE needs to do it for all users at any location across the globe. So to give you a better background, we've been doing SASE since 2015. We have built a global cloud-native, cloud-delivered platform from the ground up, okay? And the Cato SASE Cloud, as you can see by the graphic there, converges SD-WAN, secure web gateway, next-gen firewalls, CASB, advanced threat protection, and VPN. And we deliver all of the capabilities that I've just mentioned to everywhere and everyone. So the Cato SASE backbone is a global cloud service that, again, supports all enterprise edges, right? Whether it be a branch, whether it be a user, whether it be public cloud, like Amazon or AWS. So we, as a title you can see by this slide, we are indeed the world's first true SASE platform. And we've proven this across more than 1,000 customers, and it's ready today. So if you want to try, ping me at the end and I can give you a demo and we can walk through the details. Okay, so let's take a closer look at our cloud delivered security services and how we're able to protect all traffic. So not only WAN, internet, cloud, all traffic from all edges, from threats and attacks. So the way we do it is we apply real-time protection through multiple engines. The first two I'm showing there is the next-gen firewall and the secure web gateway. And this is used to control access to internal resources and external sites. We've got a cloud access security broker, or CASB service, which provides the visibility and the control of cloud applications. In terms of advanced threat protection, we've got a fully managed IPS. Okay, so I'm gonna emphasize that it's a fully managed IPS service. It's a really good bit of kit, because if you've ever tried to deploy or manage ongoing IPS, you know that it's really, really hard to do, especially with the amount of threats that are looming in today's security landscape, right? So by having that managed IPS service, our customers never have to worry about patching or testing signatures and new threats ever again, right? So they can be rest assured that it's taken care of by Cato. And we've also got the next-gen anti-malware, which is able to detect threats such as malware downloads, outbound malware communications, and so on. Last but definitely not least, this is our MDR service. MDR stands for Managed Detection and Response. So this is our offering. It enables enterprises to really offload the resource intensive, as we saw previously in my other slide, also very, very expensive and skill dependent process, right, of being able to detect compromised endpoints inside your network. And we do that with the dedicated Cato SOC 24/7 service. Okay, so this is my last slide, and I wanted to leave you, I like to call it the Cato SASE utopia. I'm going to paint a few scenarios, and I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine what it would be like to have this in your network today. So I'll start with the first one, right? What if you can implement Zero Trust Network Access, ZTNA, quickly and easily for all of your users and devices globally? Okay, so I'll give you an example. Being able to onboard 1,000 users in under an hour due to a pandemic like the one we experienced over the last 2 years. What if you never have to patch your network again? So that very expensive security engineer I talked about before, not having to waste 50% of his time or more in patching networks because the latest threats, have hit the headlines. What if you could simply turn on security features anytime, anywhere in the world? So you don't have to worry about, is the box that I've got on premise big enough to handle this new security feature? Or, is it the right architecture at this site? So none of that. what if you could get zero time to value and a zero footprint deployment from your security services? So the ability to just turn something on and have it tell you, give you valuable feedback and statistics about your network from a network and security threats point of view. What if you can manage your network, security, and remote users all via a single pane of glass? Okay, so a lot of vendors talk about a single pane of glass, but in the back end, you're switching between legacy or acquired management systems. What if you could do that via a natively deployed, cloud-delivered, true single pane of glass, where I could do not only configuration and deployment, but I can do the day one, day two stuff like troubleshoot, analyze, event correlation, logging, all those things. What if you could do that via a single pane of glass? Well, the good news is, and it's no surprise, you can do it with the Cato SASE cloud. Okay, so with the Cato SASE cloud, there is zero planning, effort, and time. So your valuable time can be spent doing other things, which is going to obviously drive your business forward. If you're interested in learning more, please reach out to me or any of the Cato representatives on this day, and we'll get back to you. Thanks very much, guys.